to me right now.
Australia's favourite doctor is back to bad.
Every home is worth protecting. Help protect yours today and get a quote from NRMA Insurance.
We spend 2/3 of our life on our feet. If your foot isn't properly aligned, then all these joints are going to function incorrectly. The result is a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What has helped me is the Good Feet 3-step system. It placed my foot in its ideal alignment. You can't replace your feet. You've only got two, and they've got to last your lifetime.
See for yourself with a free personalised arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
It's Holden's 2019 plate clearance with 7 years free scheduled servicing.
Free? As in free? 100% totally free? Free?
Free! As in free as a bird free!
Yep. And it's across our Holden range. With Holden, you got this.
Well, look at the grouch. It's clean. We can clean your tires. Freshly sealed. It's like the peel. Put a smile on your tires. Like the clean like you have never seen. All you need is Electrodry. Electrodry.
Kentan Machinery has huge factory rebates on Kubota's full range of zero-turn mowers. Each Kubota machine delivers unparalleled precision and productivity. Visit Kentan Machinery at Hexham, Taree or the Central Coast to find out more. Kubota and Kentan, shaping the Hunter Valley.
The Burton Family Toyota massive plate clearance is on now.
All Toyota stock must clear with massive deals across the range.
Don't sign anything till you see the amazing deals on offer.
They won't be beaten on price.
On now at Maitland and Port Stephens Toyota.
Rock it your way at Domayne. Create the perfect room for your little stars. New Domayne's kids range in store now.
Feeling hot?
Call Tozer Air Conditioning.
They're your Newcastle Panasonic dealer. Plus, Panasonic Z-Series come with active air purification, killing odours and bacteria. So when you want clean air, think Panasonic and Tozer Air Conditioning.
Singos continues to give a serious value week in, week out. Here's more proof.
Singos 50-piece Australia Day barbecue pack for only $50. That's a bargain.
See the website for price comparisons week to week at Singos.
Domino's war on delivery charges just got bigger because our one man, one volleyball, one destination, 57 beer varieties. The famous Beach Hotel Merriweather, because a man is not a one man, one volleyball, one destination, 57 beer varieties. The famous Beach Hotel Merriweather, because a man is not a camel. Domino's war on delivery charges just got bigger because our $15 delivered deal now includes our vegan and plant-based pizzas. Any large pizza just $15 delivered.
Singos continues to give a serious value week in, week out. Here's more proof.
Singos 50-piece Australia Day barbecue pack for only $50. That's a bargain.
See the website for price comparisons week to week at Singos.
Feeling hot?
Call Tozer Air Conditioning.
They're your Newcastle Panasonic dealer. Plus, Panasonic Z-Series come with active air purification, killing odours and bacteria. So when you want clean air, think Panasonic and Tozer Air Conditioning.
Summer's biggest blockbuster is on. And tonight, the world's #1 players take to the court. Our world #1 Ash Barty kicks off her Aussie Open, followed by men's #1 Novak Djokovic. A massive opening night at the Australian Open. Don't go anywhere. Ash Barty's live tonight on 9.
Okay, let's start something. Let's learn. Let's ponder. Let's connect. Let's do a degree. And do it your way. Let's hit the books. Let's think big. Let's collaborate, caffeinate, procrastinate. Okay, now let's create. Let's ace it. Let's take the leap. Let's do this with Swinburne Online.
This program is proudly brought to you by APT Luxury Travel. All taken care of so you can live fully. NBN News, your local news in the Hunter.
The 58-year-old cannot be charged until he's crossed the border back into New South Wales.
In Maitland, locals are bringing bags to Jenny Atchison's office to help those on the fairgrounds.
Even on an overcast morning, Port Stephens is still the region's tourist hotspot.
He thoroughly enjoyed his time in the Hunter.
It's a great place to be living, so I'm pretty sad about that. NBN News, nightly at 6. In Millionaire Hot Seat returns in 2020 on 9.
Here comes the boom!
To save our world, one hero will have to learn to control his powers.
I'm okay!
Sonic, you got the super speed, and you gotta learn how to control it. Try these on.
Alright, looking good! This is my power.
Any last words?
Is that all you got?
No, but thank you for asking.
You've got car insurance, right?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
You're Tom's best friend. I don't see the appeal.
At Winning Appliances, culinary theatre reigns supreme. Our product experts pride themselves on offering unbiased and objective advice. Our home renovator sale is on now. Exceptional savings across our brands. Master a new level of flavour with AEG. Right now, save on selected cooking appliances. Free next day delivery, connection and old appliance removal. Winning Appliances, excite the imagination.
It's Holden's 2019 plate clearance with 7 years free scheduled servicing.
Free? As in free? 100% totally free? Free?
Free! As in free as a birth free! Yep, and it's across our Holden range.
With Holden, you got this.
Careful.
Can I borrow your car?
You're joking, right? If you're like me and don't let other people drive your car, you could really save with PD Insurance. PD Insurance has great rates if you're the only person who drives your car, and we're 100% online, making it quick, easy and great value. Visit PD Insurance and see how much you can save.
Make Harvey Norman your #1 destination for all cooking appliances, with a huge range in the world's best brands: Wheeler, AEG, Bosch, Electrolux, Smeg, Westinghouse, Ilby, Ariston and Fisher & Paykel. Ovens, cooktops, range hoods, upright stoves, and we also have sinks and taps. We check our competitors' online prices every day, and we're more competitive than ever, so you'll get a great deal at Harvey Norman. Trained and knowledgeable staff and friendly service, plus easy parking. It's all here at Harvey Norman, your cooking appliance specialists. Come in and save.
The Burton family Toyota massive plate clearance is on now.
All Toyota stock must clear with massive deals across the range.
Don't sign anything till you see the amazing deals on offer.
They won't be beaten on price.
On now at Maitland and Port Stephens Toyota.
For real savings on your next floor or window coverings, head to Andersens with the latest looks and real value. And this month, you will receive 20% off any ticketed price in store. Now that's a real deal. Is your home running out of space? Time to call the kings of storage, moving and more. Visit storageking.com.au and store before the 15th of Feb to get 1 month storage free. Let Storage King give you back some space. As Lucy isn't able to live with her mum and dad, she will live with her foster mum for as many years as Lucy needs her. Every child's needs are different. Do you have time to help raise a child like Lucy?
This program is proudly brought to you by Electrodry. Try Electrodry and Hunter 4x4 accessories, Maitland and Cardiff.
Tonight, cars and buildings smashed as large hail hammers Canberra. Central West New South Wales swallowed by a massive dust storm. The PM and a Liberal frontbencher trade public blows over climate change. And the big guns fire on day 1 of the Australian Open.
This is NBN News with Natasha Beyersdorf.
Good evening. Australia's wild and dangerous weather took another turn today with a string of powerful storm cells unleashing hail and damaging winds. Canberra took a battering. Cars were smashed and buildings damaged. The capital coated in white.
From one extreme to another. Humongous hailstones hammering down at Parliament House, smothering the Senate courtyard.
Oh, it was like thunder. So scary as well.
That was something out of the blue, out of nowhere.
The summer ice storm hit so quickly, no one was ready.
Oh, how am I supposed to get back? I'm just going to do it.
It wasn't safe to be outside or in the car. On every corner, cracked windows and windscreens, but still, it was the only way home. The hail even finding its way inside.
I'm hearing glass breaking. Oh, damn it, there's glass breaking.
It smashed through skylights, clearing this doctor's waiting room. Nobody could believe their eyes.
I have never ever seen anything like this in my life. That is absolutely astonishing.
Manuka Oval looked more like Switzerland. Most afternoon activities abandoned, aside from one dedicated postie still making deliveries.
Poor old posties.
The nation's capital was belted just after midday for 45 minutes. Already there have been thousands of calls for help. 2 people are recovering in hospital. Our wildlife suffering too. As the storms swerved towards Sydney, our southwest copped every element. Rain, hail, lightning, thunder, and roof-lifting wind. The ceiling peeled off Bringelly Village shops and crashed onto cars.
I heard some rumbling, looked up, the roof was coming down. It was over in 30 seconds to a minute.
The supercell hit like a scattergun, and it's not over just yet.
We are expecting further hail and further destructive winds coming into Sydney later tonight.
Had fire, rain, and now hail. Who knows what's next?
NBN weatherman Gavin Morris joins us now. And Gav, northern New South Wales has caught some hail as well.
Yes, that's right. Clusters of storms have been moving very quickly across the region throughout this afternoon. We've got some vision of some of that hail as well that's been coming down across the Greater Hunter and now passing over the northern New South Wales ranges and out to sea. All of this is connected to an event that began in our local region last Friday. It was extraordinary and it was rare. It wasn't a northwest moisture feed, which is typical. It's been directly out of the north, so the majority of the rain fell across the northern New South Wales ranges, but the Greater Hunter region fell into what's called a rain shadow effect. So they've literally received nothing in comparison to areas such as the Gold Coast, because this system did something quite extraordinary. It moved to the northeast. It drew massive amounts of moisture off the Coral Sea, dumping that 300 to 350 millimetres across the Gold Coast before tracking south. And then, once again, by the time it reached the Greater Hunter region, there was virtually nothing left in it. What is next? Extreme heat. It's going to return in the coming days. Your local details coming up later in the Bulletin.
Thank you, Gav. See you soon. 2 tourists are in hospital tonight after being struck by lightning in the Blue Mountains. The storm lashed the Echo Point lookout at the famous Three Sisters rock formation.
An emotional embrace with family after a close brush with death. The 16-year-old Croatian tourist was on the giant stairway walking track at Katoomba when he was struck by lightning this afternoon.
The lightning's hit the rail and it's picked him up and it's gone through him. Once it's finally released, it was just shot him out.
He suffered electric shock burns to his arms, body and legs. A police rescue team assisting paramedics in getting him off the steep track. The thunderstorm rolled across the Blue Mountains around 2 o'clock. Menacing, swirling dark clouds filled the sky before the lightning strikes began. Tourist photos from the Echo Point lookout show the static charge in the atmosphere.
Oh, it's pretty scary. My hair, I could feel like my hair was static, and it pretty much went like on my head and hit my foot. And I have a big headache, but my mum's like, we got to go check that out because I can feel my foot's a bit numb.
It's hard to believe how quickly this storm passed through. There's blue sky now, but half an hour ago, that was black. And down here on this metal staircase was probably the worst place to be.
So that's their transmission through, because they weren't directly hit, though. It's hit the staircase. On a beautiful day, this is a lovely place to be. Unfortunately, in the middle of an electrical storm, maybe not in a metal staircase.
Another man, also a tourist, was holding on to a metal railing in the nearby car park. He too was taken to hospital with burns. To some pictures just in now, and a storm has brought chaos to Miranda in Sydney. A number of people are trapped in their cars after large trees came down. There are also reports the roof of a building has collapsed nearby. The SES says it's received more than 100 calls in a very short time. Further west, a massive dust storm has come barrelling across parts of New South Wales. Dubbo and Parkes, just two regional centres, swamped by a red wave, hundreds of metres high.
Punished by the drought, now sandblasted by a dust storm. A drone captured these stunning images as the dust storm swallowed Parkes in the state's central west. Jaw-dropping from the air. On the ground, not the end of the world, but it sure looked like it.
That's going to fucking smash us.
Breathtaking at normal speed, frightening at double time, as it rolled over the bush at Forbes, choking the air, blanketing the town in an eerie twilight. Another sped-up view captured by a local in Parkes, and this time it looked like a bomb had gone off.
I feel like we're in an episode of Twister.
The slow-moving wall stretched more than 300 kilometres, Forbes in the south, through Parkes, Dubbo and to Nyngan in the north. In Dubbo, the sight was enough to scare the wits out of a flock of birds. The main highway into Nyngan, looking more like a road trip to Mars. The driver wisely pulling over, while another pushed their luck, disappearing into a dark red void.
It just went from like day to night in a matter of minutes, and when I was driving home I couldn't see like 5 metres in front of me.
The dust storm was created by strong winds, dry soil, an unstable atmosphere with low moisture. A major thunderstorm created the powerful gusts. At 7:42 last night, winds were recorded at 107 kilometres per hour at Dubbo. The moment the dust storm passed over Tottenham, south of Nyngan.
It's part and parcel with this record drought we've got at the moment. The soil is so dry, it's now gone from being just hard, it's now powdery.
A day to remember when it looked as if Uluru had moved to the state's central west. Mark Burrows, NBN News.
Climate change policy has long been a sticking point in the federal Liberal Party room. Now a state frontbencher has found himself in the middle of the bitter stoush. The Prime Minister today issued a stinging personal slapdown to the New South Wales Environment Minister.
A familiar war on a new battleground. The Prime Minister versus the New South Wales Environment Minister trading public blows over climate change.
The New South Wales Environment Minister, Matt Keane, said there are those on your front bench who don't feel you're doing enough. Have those people expressed that view to you?
No. Not at all. No, I don't know what he's talking about. I think Matt can focus on hazard reduction, I'll focus on emissions reduction.
But you're not worried about your own party at all? You're not worried about rats in the reins?
No. It's all beat up.
Scott Morrison was announcing a package to help small business owners in fire-ravaged areas, including top-up grants of $50,000, low-interest loans of up to $500,000, free financial advice and a range of tax relief measures. But the good news story was sidelined by Matt Keane's claims that the Prime Minister is facing a revolt on climate policy.
My understanding is some of the most senior members of the government, and they're not moderates, they're from the right of the party.
In Cabinet?
And they are saying that this is a huge issue.
In Cabinet?
In Cabinet, absolutely.
He's standing by that today, but as the Prime Minister faced more questions, he snapped.
Matt Keane doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what's going on in the federal cabinet. Most of the federal cabinet wouldn't even know who Matt Keane was.
A personal sting against the factional leader whose state superiors piled on.
He seems to have taken this opportunity to go out and spread a whole heap of messages that I don't believe is representative of the whole of government.
The irony is a deal to slash greenhouse gas emissions and boost renewable energy was agreed to by both the state and federal governments more than a month ago. It just hasn't been formally announced, and this latest stoush could delay that even further. Liz Daniels, NBN News.
Torrential rain, hailstorms, but tonight we're being warned not to let our guard down with the fire danger set to return. Lizzie Pearl explains.
After last week's reprieve, the hot weather is returning and, along with it, dangerous fire conditions. High temperatures are forecast for Thursday, and the Rural Fire Service expects total fire bans in many areas across the state, along with very high and severe fire conditions for central, eastern and southern parts of New South Wales. There are around 70 fires burning across the state, and at least 25 of those are still to be contained. The rain has helped firefighters, but they warn we need 2 weeks of constant rain to put the fires out and dampen down bushland to reduce the fire threat across the state.
Lizzie Pearl there. While parts of the Hunter saw drenching summer rain, sadly it was far from widespread. More than 100 millimetres fell around Gloucester and Ulladulla over the last few days, but the deluge didn't reach the upper Hunter.
A stark, sobering sight, a large dam bone dry just east of Singleton. Not what many expected after soaking rain on the coast. But in the valley, the only way to describe it was very patchy. Some places lucky, others missing out.
We've had around the town here 27 mil since Thursday. Few people north, south, out of the valley, out of the centre of the valley, they've had up to 47, 50, sometimes 60. If you're lucky enough to be under the storm and get the rain, tremendous.
Stock and Station agent Roger Fuller says the market has responded with prices already jumping. Green shoots of life will appear in the next 7 to 10 days. Drought-parched Murrurundi and Maryborough saw light rain over the last 4 days. Coastal areas received a good drenching in a 24-hour period to 9 a.m. on Saturday, but Singleton got barely 2 millimetres. Hunter Water is pushing ahead with level 2 water restrictions from today, tightening outdoor water use. In the meantime, farmers have their fingers crossed for follow-up rain and hopefully more scenes like this.
Beautiful rain.
After 3 years in drought, this Tamworth farmer kept his promise of a nudie run to celebrate. Jane Goldsmith, NBN News.
The rain has enabled the reopening of the Mile Lakes National Park. The area had been temporarily closed due to bushfire risk, but the National Parks and Wildlife Service says rainfall received since Thursday has improved conditions. All campgrounds, day use areas, four-wheel drive beaches and roads are now accessible to the public. Tracks and trails have also reopened, except for the Mining Road Fire Trail and the Mungo walking track. A fire ban remains in place. A Central Coast man's copped a jail term for defrauding his former employer of $150,000. Garth Wiley, who managed 2 Hunter cinemas, was this morning handed an 18-month sentence, but tonight remains a free man.
Just a few hours into his prison term, Garth Wiley was back on the streets, granted bail pending an appeal over his sentence. The 42-year-old was jailed for at least 12 months for defrauding Event Cinemas of $150,000. Wiley worked for the company for 11 years, 6 as general manager of Glendale and then at Kitara. But from 2011 until his resignation in 2017, he was found to have been using his Event Cinema issued corporate credit card to purchase items and pay bills for his 3 businesses, which he'd recently set up. An investigation revealed Wiley would submit an invoice from one of his 3 businesses to himself, then pay using the Event Cinemas credit card, and would then receive the money directly via PayPal from Event Cinemas from the invoice. The majority of the purchases were bills under $1,000, which allowed Wiley to self-approve them. He claimed some of the services were provided by his business, but ultimately pleaded guilty last November. Wiley will remain on bail for the next 2 months at least until his appeal is heard in Newcastle District Court in March. Tyson Cottrell, NBN News.
Police are investigating the death of a kangaroo and apparently deliberate wounding of 2 others at Muswellbrook. A bushwalker located the animals yesterday morning in scrubland at Allambi Park. The dead kangaroo had suffered a wound to its chest, while the 2 injured ones appear to have been run over. Anyone with information should call Crime Stoppers. 2 people have been taken to hospital following a hazmat incident at a Somersby factory. Around 40 people were evacuated from the building on Pyle Road just after 10 a.m. when a chemical reaction sparked a small blaze.
The sprinkler system did activate at that time, which managed to contain the fire to the location.
Dozens of people experienced coughing and watering eyes. A new star has been crowned in the country music capital, with Newcastle-based singer Sammy White taking out Tamworth's Star Maker competition. The 22-year-old following in the footsteps of Keith Urban, Sam McClymont and Lee Kernaghan.
With crowds bustling to the brim and a panel of judges at the ready, the annual Toyota Star Maker competition hit off on a high. Kicking things off, last year's winner Blake O'Connor, nominated for 2 Golden Guitar Awards. Most of this year's finalists were women. First contestant Juliette Oliver looking pretty in pink. The only male finalist, Jared Taylor, hyping the crowd. Queenslander Chloe Styler sang an acoustic number. But it was Townsville turned Newcastle talent Sammy White who won the judges over. Her original song Drowning My Sorrows reaching number 5 on the iTunes country chart.
The overall winner of the Toyota Star Maker 2020 is Sammy White.
Taking home a recording contract, an overseas trip to Nashville and a much-needed car.
My guitar is all but gone. My car broke down a couple of months ago as well, and I can't afford to fix it. So to be able to have a car and to be able to be named a Star Maker finalist is amazing, but then to be the winner is just ridiculous.
Holly Williams, NBN News.
Still to come, Harry speaks out about his royal split.
Save up to 15% on your first year's premium when you get a new Allianz comprehensive car insurance policy online.
Hey, good to go.
Thanks. Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
Panasonic air conditioners are built with reliability in mind. So no matter what the environment is like outside, when you're inside, you're in control.
Now control your Panasonic air conditioner with Wi-Fi and voice control.
The Choices Flooring Inspiring Choices Innovation Edition is out now with new and exciting flooring ideas, online tools and innovative ways to create the floor you've been searching for. Visit your nearest showroom or go to choicesflooring.com.au to view or order your copy today.
Maps, messaging, music, you're going to love Apple CarPlay. Oh, sorry.
Make any excuse with a 4.9% comparison rate across the Corolla hatch range. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Does your energy provider chip in for your internet? Dodo does. Yeah, we're an energy company and an internet company, which is why you get unlimited data on an NBN 50 plan for just $60 a month when you also get electricity and gas. Switch at dodo.com.
There are 2 ways to make a mattress. The cheap way, one piece, single-sided with attached pillow top made out of foam. Yes, Mr. Harvey, they should be 50% off. The best way, 2-piece, double-sided, removable pillow top with thousands of microcoils and a 5-year comfort promise. Sorry, Mr. Harvey, we make them, you don't.
The Bellissimo mattress, made like no other mattress. Making mattresses, nobody makes a better mattress. Nobody.
You're gonna do great, Dad.
I am a fireman.
I'm a nurse.
I'm a pilot.
I'm a project manager. I manage projects. I drive a lot. When I build things, pull things, push things, I hit them. And then I carry stuff.
What do you do again?
I drive a Hilux.
Toyota Hilux, now including Toyota's Safety Sense packages standard. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Primo, tasty.
There you go, mate.
That's not how Mum makes it.
Cheese and ham. Delicious.
Mum makes me ham and cheese.
For great tasting ham, made every day, Primo.
A man accused of a one-punch attack that left a 31-year-old dead has told a jury he was acting in self-defence. George Habcook was out celebrating with his employees on the Central Coast when he says he came to the aid of a female friend.
George Habcook was out celebrating New Year's with his pizza shop employees in 2017 at the Lakes Hotel in the entrance when he took off after a female friend. A short distance away, he watched as a drunk Hayden butcher stopped her in her tracks with what some called a coat hanger manoeuvre. 5 seconds later, Habcook punched Mr. Butcher once in the face, causing him to fall backwards. Witnesses will describe hearing a large cracking sound, the Crown told his district court trial today. In the hours after, Habcook told a friend, "Just hope he's okay, hope he's not dead. Who is he and why did he get involved?" Habcook has pleaded not guilty to assault causing death on the grounds he acted in self-defence, retaliation for what he saw Mr. Butcher do to his friend of 10 years. Mr. Habcook didn't have time for calm reflection about what had happened, his barrister Margaret Caneen SC told the jury. She also insisted this trial wasn't about a coward punch or something that took the victim by surprise. Kelly Fedor, NBN News.
It's a lung disease that's being dubbed the health crisis for a new generation of tradies, potentially as bad as asbestos. A stonemason is suing his former employer, claiming he was exposed to deadly dust particles while helping build Parliament House in Canberra.
Frank Scott is only 50 years old, a stonemason who says his work carving the marble for Parliament House could end up killing him.
Thought it would take a couple of Panadol or something and then back to work. Not a lifelong sentence.
Mr. Scott has a terminal disease of the lungs, silicosis, caused by breathing in dust from grinding, cutting and drilling the marble and granite slabs. As an apprentice, he spent 2 years from 1986 working on Parliament in Canberra.
23,000 pieces of granite on the curved walls.
We did blow ourselves off with blowers at the end of the day, but it's still in your hair, in your clothes, on your skin. Sometimes you look like Casper the Ghost.
Mr. Scott is now suing his former employer, RM Watson, claiming he was only ever given a paper mask as protection.
We just assumed that was the best protection we could get, and we just used those.
10,000 people helped build our nation's parliament over 7 years. Even the Queen paid tribute to Frank and his colleagues for their work.
For the contractors and subcontractors, and to the artists and craftspeople, whose creative talents enrich the interior.
But Mr. Scott's lungs are now so damaged he had to escape to Western Australia, leaving his home in Canberra because the cold made it hard to breathe.
We are seeking compensation for Frank in relation to the significant damage which has been done to his health.
The federal government has established a $5 million national task force to look into dust diseases in Queensland. 1 in 5 stonemasons are affected, an industrial health crisis developing into something as big as asbestos.
Frank is one of at least 300 Australian workers whose lungs have been destroyed as a result of exposure to silica dust.
Frank doesn't know if he will survive this. He needs a double lung transplant.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard thing to get your head around.
But he hopes his case will help demonstrate just how serious the epidemic is becoming.
Thinking that it's not going to happen to me, and it has. So all these young people thinking it's not going to happen to me, it can and will.
Chris O'Keefe, NBN News.
Prince Harry has spoken of his great sadness at leaving the royal family, while making it clear he had no other choice. In a candid speech at an AIDS charity event, the 35-year-old claimed it was his decision to step back, steering any blame away from his wife.
With the tap of a wine glass, a heartfelt Harry laid bare the reasons behind bottling it as a royal.
I want you to hear the truth from me, as much as I can share, not as a prince or a duke, but as Harry, the same person that many of you have watched grow up over the last 35 years, but now with a clearer perspective.
He expressed his love for country and doubled down on his devotion to Meghan, and claims it was his captain's call to part ways.
The decision that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly. And I know I haven't always got it right, but as far as this goes, there really was no other option.
Harry's hope was to continue serving the Queen, the Commonwealth and his military associations, but said without public funding, it wasn't possible.
But I hope that helps you understand what it had come to, that I would step my family back from all I have ever known, to take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life.
He reiterated his royal respect for his Commander-in-Chief, his grandma, the Queen.
I am incredibly grateful to her and the rest of my family for the support they have shown Meghan and I over the last few months.
In a show of solidarity, it was family first as the Queen brought under fire Prince Andrew in from the cold, attending church together before hundreds of concerned well-wishers.
I'm very sad about it because I love the royal family very much.
It's the Queen's first public show of support for Andrew since his car crash interview, during which he defended his friendship with the deceased sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein.
I think there's sympathy for the fact that the Queen is kind of out on a limb here. She doesn't have the Duke of Edinburgh with her. This is probably Andrew's way of trying to be the supportive son.
And just what would the Queen make of Harry spruiking Meghan's talents at the Lion King premiere 6 months ago? This is the second video in a week to emerge of Harry selling Meghan's vocal skills. First, the Disney boss, now the show's director. Scar is the antagonistic lion in the movie, which hasn't escaped Meghan's critics, as the royal family attempts to heal the Megxit wounds.
We are taking a leap of faith. So thank you for giving me the courage to take this next step.
But there's no guarantee this new journey will be less bumpy than the previous one.
Ahead in the news, police officers killed in the Hawaiian capital. And why SpaceX destroyed its own rocket.
Every home is worth protecting. Help protect yours today and get a quote from NRMA Insurance.
Guys, we've got another jackpot winner!
Osvaldo, will your numbers bring you a truckload of cash this Tuesday?
Our region has been using less water, but the severe drought means our dam levels are still falling. Level 2 restrictions now apply. This means you can use a trigger nozzle to water for 15 minutes every second day. Limit your showers to 4 minutes, and only wash vehicles and buildings with a bucket. To learn about restrictions and ways to save bucket loads of water, visit hunterwater.com.au.
Say hello to summer at Snoozer's massive bedroom sale. Up to 50% off mattresses, including Sealy, Madison and Tempur. Up to 40% off bedroom furniture and great deals on end-of-season kids ranges. Hurry, Snoozer's massive bedroom sale is now on.
How long have you been karting?
About 10 minutes.
You're pretty good.
First hit the track. Next, learn the rules. Then join the team.
Everyone thinks I'm going to win nationals this year.
We can do it.
Go.
Is your home running out of space? Time to call the kings of storage, moving and more. Visit storageking.com.au and store before the 15th of Feb to get 1 month storage free. Let Storage King give you back some space.
I drive a lot. I build stuff. Pull things, push things, take things. And then I carry stuff.
What do you do again?
I drive a Hilux.
Now including Toyota's Safety Sense package as standard. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Open Universities Australia, we've helped over 400,000 students study to achieve their career goals. We'll help you find the right online study choice, all in one place, with Open Universities Australia. Explore, choose, enrol.
The 2019 Mazda stock clearance is here. Save with 3 years free servicing on Mazda BT50 4x4 Utes, plus NBN holders bonus. Get in quick before it ends.
Two police officers are dead and several other people unaccounted for after a shootout in Hawaii. What began as a rental dispute in Honolulu quickly spiralled out of control. The gunman also starting a fire that tore through a number of houses.
Flames spread across a Honolulu suburb as a peaceful Sunday morning is shattered by gunfire and sirens. The ordeal starting with a 69-year-old man who was facing eviction, stabbing his female landlord.
I looked to the right and I saw this lady sitting down with blood.
The dispute escalated as authorities arrived. 3 officers shot, 2 fatally. As the siege continued, the gunman set fire to the house, the blaze then spreading to at least 7 other neighbouring homes.
Yeah, cars on fire, trees on fire.
Aussie tourist Natalie Fian, one of the many witnessing the carnage.
All we heard was the sirens and saw a lot of smoke, and so there's been a constant stream of police, fire services heading in the direction.
It's believed the suspect died in the fire. Authorities are now trying to locate others who may have been inside the burning houses. In the United States, Tim Avia, NBN News.
Climate change protesters are marching towards a gathering of world and business leaders in Davos. Around 10,000 demonstrators are hiking for 3 days through Switzerland to reach the World Economic Forum, which gets underway this week. Meanwhile, 11 world leaders are meeting in Berlin as part of a last-ditch effort to secure a ceasefire in war-torn Libya. Things got off to a rocky start. Vladimir Putin went missing before a group photograph, while British Prime Minister Boris Johnson had to be called to attention by Angela Merkel when he became distracted. There's been a dramatic but planned failure to launch for SpaceX, with Elon Musk's company testing abort systems on its astronaut capsule. The Dragon spacecraft, carrying 2 test dummies, cleared the rocket and made a splash off the coast of Cape Canaveral. The exercise, part of efforts to ensure the capsule is safe to fly people to the International Space Station. A new voluntary recall has been issued for 42,000 cars over faulty airbags. It affects some Honda and Mitsubishi vehicles manufactured between 1996 and 2000, which may be fitted with the potentially deadly Takata airbags. Owners of affected cars are advised to stop driving them immediately and contact the manufacturer. To financing, the All Ords closed 16 points higher to still be hovering above the 7,000 point mark. Private health insurer NIB was the day's worst performer, down nearly 13% after downgrading its profit guidance. Silver Lake Resources jumped nearly 7%, Fortescue added more than 3.5%. The Commonwealth Bank finished the day 12 cents lighter, Westpac was up 9%. To commodities, and gold and oil are trading higher, and the Aussie dollar is up, buying just under 69 US cents and close to 76 yen. It was a rough night for the Australians at the Screen Actors Guild Awards in LA, with Margot Robbie, Nicole Kidman and Russell Crowe all missing out on the top gongs. But there was good news for Korean movie Parasite, winning Best Cast, the first foreign language film to do so in the award's 26-year history.
Because unlike the Oscars, it's actors and actors alone who nominate their peers.
And the actor goes to Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston genuinely surprised to take home Best Actress in a Drama for the morning show.
We are doing this my way.
Time for sport now with Mitchell Hughes. And Mitch, no dramas for the Aces at the Australian Open.
No, the big names are definitely on their game. Thanks, Tash. After the break, Roger Federer and Serena Williams in cruise control on day one. And the surprise selection to captain the Dragons.
Welcome to the Jana Dairy Farm. We're a 100% Australian-owned family dairy that's been making yogurt the authentic way, in the pot, for over 60 years. Jana Pot Set Yogurt. If only everything was so pure.
Australia's biggest school shoe sale is now on. Buy one pair and get your second pair half price. We've got all the big brands like Clarks, Rock, Colorado, Lynx and more. Hurry into Williams and Mathers, #1 for school shoes.
You gotta see this. The Japanese are planning something big. What's the target? It's Midway. We need to set trap. Good luck, boys.
Marmont Waters, an over-55s community with amazing lifestyle facilities, including pool, gym, bar and recreational areas. Enjoy light-filled, open-plan living in a resort-style setting. Make the move to Marmont Waters.
Calling Huey was a brilliant experience. I spoke to a gentleman by the name of Alexander. He was pretty good. He listened to an old fogey like me and it saved us a monster.
How much did you save?
$177.
That's pretty good. Now, I couldn't help but notice you wearing a Team Mears shirt. You looked taught it wouldn't happen to be two-time Olympic champion Anna Mears.
Correct.
Which means you're also the father of two-time Commonwealth champion Kerry Mears.
Correct.
For an insurer that listens, think Huey. Call 13Huey or go to huey.com.au.
Is your home running out of space? Call Storage King. Whether you're moving house, renovating, downsizing, or relocating the hubby's man cave, Storage King has the answer. We also have a crack team of storage professionals who can organise it all for you, making Storage King the kings of storage, moving and more. Store before the 15th of Feb and get 1 month storage free. So visit storageking.com.au and let Storage King give you back some space.
The Burton Family Toyota massive plate clearance is on now.
All Toyota stock must clear with massive deals across the range.
Don't sign anything till you see the amazing deals on offer.
They won't be beaten on price.
On now at Maitland and Port Stephens Toyota.
Pete, it's on again. Yeah, Chan, I'm excited about the annual Moolarben Cole Celebrity Golf Classic that has raised more than $250,000 for local charity. Friday the 31st of January at the beautiful Mudgee Golf Course and Clubhouse.
Your spare pair. Your glare pair. The flying through the air pair. We could all use a second pair. At Specsavers, get 2 designer pairs, no cap, from the $199 single vision range when you're with selected health funds.
Driving is believing in a great leap forward in design, technology and sophistication. Next Gen Mazda 3 in hatch and sedan. Driving is believing.
The big stars have breezed through the first day of the Australian Open. Roger Federer and Serena Williams won their matches in style as they both chase history down under.
Roger Federer hasn't played competitively in 2 months, but winning comes naturally to the 38-year-old.
This is Federer in full flight. Anything I was doing, I felt like I had the game under control, but that might not be the case in the next round, so I just think I have to be careful, round by round, point-for-point mentality.
With his family watching on, he broke early against Steve Johnson, the American, just another spectator for much of the Roger Federer show.
Oh, I can't do much better than that.
Serena Williams hadn't won a tournament in 3 years before the Auckland Open. She broke her drought. Now she's on the brink of making history.
So to say monkey off my back, kinda, was really important for me to get a win in the finals. So it felt like a relief.
The 38-year-old is just one major victory away from equaling Margaret Court's record for the most titles, kick-starting her Open campaign by dropping just 3 games against Anastasia Potapova.
Margaret Court was a wonderful, great champion, and now how great is Serena Williams? And that's it. That's kind of what I've been thinking about.
Her surprising friendship with Dustin Martin shocked everyone when he appeared on her Instagram in the Maldives last year. He wasn't courtside in Melbourne today to watch the former world #1. Williams explaining he's just too big of a star.
He couldn't come to the Australian Open because he would be mobbed way too much. He can't definitely do everyday things like that. He's way too recognizable.
Naomi Osaka's title defense also got off to a perfect start.
Starting to hit her straps now.
The 22-year-old beating Marie Buskova in straight sets.
Too good.
Jaleesa Rabs, NBN News.
A surprise from the Dragons ahead of the NRL season. Cameron McInnes is the club's new captain. Coach Paul McGregor overlooking his accomplished rep stars.
I'm a big believer that you got to keep earning it as well. So that's just my challenge, that every week I earn the right to be the captain.
At 25 years old, McInnes is the second youngest skipper in the Red V's history. Australia's cricketers have lost the one-day series against India, dropping the decider by 7 wickets overnight. They'll now return home for domestic duties before embarking on a tour of South Africa next month. Coach Marcus. To the A-League, and the Wanderers have run out of patience, sacking coach Marcus Babbel. After a bright start, they've managed just 1 win from their last 11 games. Last night's 1-0 loss to Perth, the final straw.
Particularly with what we believe is a very strong squad that should be contesting at the back end of the season. We believe that the opportunity is now right.
Former Jets assistant John Paul Domayne has been appointed caretaker coach. In just a moment, Matilda's captain Sam Kerr gets off the mark at Chelsea. And an Aussie set to play in the Super Bowl.
Terry Shear, Australia's leading landlord insurance specialist, can protect your property and rental income from just $1 a day.
My property portfolio is protected by Terry Shear. I wouldn't trust anyone else.
Call Terry Shear or go online.
Panasonic air conditioners are built with reliability in mind. So no matter what the environment is like outside, when you're inside, you're in control. Now control your Panasonic air conditioner with Wi-Fi and voice control.
To all those overpriced mattress brands, OMF is calling BS.
BS?
Yep, biggest sale, with huge savings across the range.
How big?
How about the Feature Pack 7-Zone Eco Royale, now 57% off, or 45% off the popular Refresh, plus up to 50 months interest-free, all with OMF's 200-night guarantee. Free local delivery, and a chance to win your purchase back.
Surely that's BS.
Yep, biggest sale, ends soon at OMF. Absolutely everything's on sale at Freedom. Get up to 40% off all furniture, like sofas, beds, tables, and up to 50% off all homewares, like cushions, lamps, racks, frames. Hurry, absolutely everything on sale at Freedom is on now.
No shorts and hats. Get any two for just $10. That's wow. That's best and less.
It's time to see the world in 2020 with Scenic. Book a 15-day luxury Europe River cruise and fly for $125. See your Scenic agent or call 138128 today.
Wake up to sleep at the extended 40-week stocktake sale and save up to 50% off store-wide. Plus, get an extra 20% off all remaining floor stock. But hurry, this extended stocktake sale must end on the Australia Day holiday. 40 weeks, serious about sleep.
The Beds R Us Hot Summer Sale is on. Get up to a massive 50% off our Australian-made Sleepy Head and Sleepmaker mattresses, beds, bedroom furniture and Manchester. Hot Summer Sale on now at your locally owned Beds R Us store. Welcome back to 7th Street Caravans, where they're doing knockout deals on 2019 stock.
Oh my God, so many caravans in one place at 7th Street Caravans, Allambi.
Get yourself a knockout deal.
Tonight's sport is proudly brought to you by the Burton family, Maitland and Port Stephens Toyota.
Call in to get your best price on a new Toyota.
Liverpool's march towards the English Premier League title shows no sign of slowing down. 2-0 against ladder leaders Arsenal after just 13 minutes. Thanks to another win at the Under-23 Asian for Chelsea in the Women's Super League. One win. It wasn't easy, but the Olyroos are a step closer to Olympic qualification thanks to another win at the Under-23 Asian Cup. The Aussies are through to their first ever semi-final at the tournament, a goal in the 101st minute, earning them a 1-0 win over Syria. They're now just a win away from a ticket to the Tokyo Games. An Aussie is off to the Super Bowl. Punter Mitch Wishnowsky and his San Francisco 49ers shut down the Green Bay Packers, a first-half onslaught, booking their place in the sporting showpiece. They'll take on Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes starred in the Chiefs' win over the Tennessee Titans to end their 50-year Super Bowl absence. Katie Ray Ebsbury admits she gets emotional when she plays against her little sister Alison in the WNBL, but the Opals guard put her feelings aside to lead Perth to a big win over Townsville last night.
Here's Ebsbury. She's got Mansfield on her right. Back to Ebsbury. Two is good. Play of the week? I think so.
Katie Ray finished with 17 points and 8 rebounds as the Lynx won 95-62. Allison and fellow Hunters star Hannah Young saw limited minutes for the Fire, with Young sinking a late three-pointer. Budding golf stars battled it out in the semi-finals of the Jack Newton Junior Pennant competition at Port Stephens today. Competition went down to the wire, with a hailstorm providing players with a unique hazard.
Lightning over the course as the state junior golfers thundered down the fairway. A year of knockout match play culminating in the semi-finals of the Jack Newton Junior Pennant and Encouragement Shield. Impressive on the greens, Kew Country Club's Kedisha Golage.
I was striking it really well. I got some good up and downs. I was pretty consistent all day and I won my match, so I had a good day.
She gave a 17-shot head start and won on the 13th hole, so that was, I think, pretty impressive.
The win helped her Lower North Coast team beat Queen Beanne, sealing a spot in tomorrow's final against Asquith. But it wasn't easy. That lightning, together with hail, struck on the final hole, scores tied, forcing an anxious wait before play could resume. Teammate Ella Skatesbrook has a simple plan for the final.
Make putts, chip it close, hit it close.
In the Encouragement Shield decider, Maruya will face Linwood, but the competition isn't all about trophies.
I think their confidence from this grows a lot, so hopefully in coming months, if not halfway through the year, start to see some really good results from their individual performances.
Georgia Mar, NBN News.
A sentimental final season on America's Supercross Series continued for Curry's Chad Reed over the weekend, this time at round 3 in Anaheim.
Ever since I was 3.5 years old, motorcycles have been my life, and it's never easy, to walk away from something that you love as much as I do with this.
The 37-year-old was a class above in the last chance qualifier, but found the going a lot tougher in the main event. He was outside the top 20 after the start, eventually finishing in 17th spot. Saturday night's TT Masters flat track event at Curry Speedway had to be postponed because of wet weather. With record prize money on offer, the race had attracted some of the best riders on the East Coast and even drew multiple Australian champion Luke Richards from Singleton out of retirement. The event will now be held on February 8th. The National Shooting Championships wrapped up at Awabba over the weekend, with several competitors taking their first steps towards representing Australia at the Tokyo Olympics. Among them, men's trap winner James Willett from Victoria, who also won 2 titles at the same event last year.
It's been a big week for obviously the Olympic selections on, and to come away with both titles in the high gun, I couldn't really ask for much better.
The women's trap was taken out by Natalie Rooney from New Zealand. 2 more events will be held across the country before 8 competitors are chosen for the Australian Olympic team. I'm pretty sure Natalie won't be getting a berth on the Australian Olympic team.
Sure, thank you. Stay with, we'll have the weather next with Gavin Morris.
With Allianz Comprehensive Car Insurance, we guarantee all the repairs we authorise.
Hey, good to go.
Thanks. Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
None of us are walking out of here unless we work together.
Will you? You gotta be kidding me.
Isn't this fun? It's just like a sleepover. We should order pizza. Big customers, really. Okay. I'm the one they should be scared of. Because I'm
Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey. In cinemas February 6.
It's time to see the world in 2020 with Scenic. Enjoy a mouth-watering degustation, experience cooking classes with Scenic Culinaire, and relax in the revitalizing Salt Lounge. Scenic offers truly all-inclusive river cruising and enriching ways to see the world.
Book an 11-day luxury France River Cruise and fly for 125. See your Scenic agent or call 138 128 today.
With Toyota Safety Sense as standard. Can't be too safe, hey?
Make any excuse to get plate clearance value, like Hilux 4x4 SR5 from $53,990. Drive away with free auto upgrade. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Summer in Australia. Heat and sweat aggravate dandruff and itch. I recommend Head & Shoulders. More effective than our regular shampoo, it reduces more dandruff in just one wash and protects your scalp. I recommend Head & Shoulders. The Lexus 8-day event is on now. Receive a $5,000 contribution on select Lexus models for 8 days. Ends January 23.
With Scenic Eclipse, discover the pristine landscapes and unique wildlife of Antarctica. Explore beyond the horizon by helicopter and see the diverse marine environment by submarine or Zodiac with your expert discovery team. Scenic Eclipse, where luxury meets discovery in Antarctica, South Georgia and the Falkland Islands. Book now to secure included business class flights. See your Scenic agent or call 138 128 today.
Tonight's weather, proudly brought to you by Hunter Water. Love water, it belongs to us.
There's been some more storm activity around this afternoon. With the latest on our weather, here's Gav.
Thank you, Tash. Welcome back. Yes, a few more storms this afternoon, but largely, again, missing out on significant rain. This evening's weather photo. Sea surface temperatures are beginning to warm up. As they warm, it it creates the threat of an east coast low. That's typically when we get our big rain. Why didn't it rain across the weekend to significant levels? Well, it was not a typical northwest moisture feed. It moved around to the north. Everything came out of the north, so it was the northern New South Wales ranges that got most of the rain, and that was all north of the Barringtons, and it created what's known as a rain shadow. So the valley was in that shadow, so we had a lot of sinking air and very limited falls. But that feed then moved around to the northeast, and that dumped huge amounts of rain on the Gold Coast and the northern rivers, and again by the time that arm reached us, there was nothing much left in it. So largely we are awaiting our turn now. Big rain continues right across the northern tropics. Wild storms as the low formed today right on the southern tip of this trough that produced a big rain across northern New South Wales since last Friday. It's all been connected. It is a tropical air mass, and that's why it's been so humid. Now, all of that activity is moving offshore, allowing the westerlies to return throughout tomorrow. The hot, dry desert air returning in the coming days as the northern tropics now continue getting very, very active right across the tropical north into Brisbane. Southern Australia is largely dry yet again and getting hotter throughout the interior. There's those storms that move through very, very quickly, and when they're travelling fast like that, very small accumulations. They rip through town and they come and go before you've even noticed for most. It was hot, the heat moving back in very, very quickly right across the region throughout today, and very, very humid as well. So that humidity is up along the coast, but still down inland where the heat lingers as we move into this evening. Tomorrow the hot westerly winds return yet again, and that is going to push the heat all the way to the coast before the onshores switch. We've got some showers and cloud mostly around the mountain areas, potentially to the south with that switch. Otherwise it's going to be hot and dry. Central Coast saw really big rain there on Friday, had some falls over the weekend as well, but right across the majority of the valley floor, particularly the populated areas. Some locations getting a little tinge of green in their grass, but it'll be gone very, very quickly because there's just not enough moisture in that soil, and with heat like this and the sun returning, it's just going to evaporate very, very quickly over the next couple of days. There is a swell running at about 2.5 metres, strong winds because of those northwesterlies, and that's kicking up seas of 3 metres offshore, but clean close to. Tomorrow there is a high tide tomorrow morning about 6:30, working into the low at 1:20, sun up just after 6 and down again just after 8. So looking ahead for Newcastle and the suburban areas, hot and humid over the next couple of days, drying out a little bit with those westerlies, and then the change comes through on Friday. We'll see probably another line of storms, but again not looking at big numbers from that system. We should see better numbers again throughout the upper Hunter, but the high 30s and 40-degree temperatures are going to return over the next couple of days. Hot for the Central Coast on Thursday, then the change comes through on Friday also. Level 2 water restrictions begin from today. Surfers, small waves at the moment, but there should be a little bit of swell tomorrow, and it should be clean with those westerly winds.
Thank you, Gav, and that is NBN News for this evening. The Today Show will have the latest headlines from 5:30 tomorrow.
Thanks for your company from all the team. Good night.